Finally. Finally, Rimuru has finally seen through Yuki's lies. He has finally seen through it. And yes, I acknowledge once again that we do get to see a lot of things that Rimuru doesn't see, so it's been a long time wanting him to finally connect the dots and really kind of put together that Yuki's not working in your favor. You got to keep an eye on that boy and go after him if you need to go after him. But yes, the finale of this season was absolutely fantastic. These are the meetings that I like. I'm okay with meetings as long as there's like some juicy stuff in there. As long as we're brewing up something, we're exposing something, that's where it really works for me. And yes, this finale opened up a ton of doors, which seems good now because we do have an announcement for another season as well as a movie. I don't know if the movie's going to be original or if it's going to be first or second. I assume the movie's going to be first and then the season afterwards. But either way, I'm going to eat it up. More slime, that's fantastic. But yes, this episode was great. I think the big pinnacle point was definitely the end of it, but we'll get in there. We're going to go through the episode proper like we typically do and analyze it as we go through. But yes, the episode opening up with more of the stupid money stuff. I was throwing a fit when this opened up with them actually having guard going, oh no, we don't have enough money. We could pay you with our money. And they're going, no, you have to pay us with the actual dwarven coins. And I'm like, really? Guard, we just established we had enough money. I was literally yelling at the screen going, but we just got the money. Why is Guard having a problem here? Why are we still doing this? No, it was all a ploy. It was all according to Keikaku. Guard's a good actor. Guard fooled me. I thought he was actually panicking and they didn't have enough money and they were trying to figure out something there. But no, they were trying to get them to expose themselves. Have this Duke actually expose that they were working against their interest. And yes, working for the council itself, or at least trying to ruin their reputation with the people. And yes, then they finally come in with the coins. And there's one big point in here, and that is that, yes, Revenue's like, yeah, we're good. We got you paid. They're going, oh, cool. We'd love to work with you again. No, that's okay. I liked how Remedy's like, nah, I don't need your business. No, I know what you guys are doing here. I ain't stupid. I ain't doing business with you guys no more. I can do just fine without you. You ain't going to do business with us no more. We're going to be creating our own economy. If they won't accept us, if this council won't accept us, we'll create our own economy. Which, yes, makes perfect sense. If they're creating such a global, like, center point right here, like, they're even getting to the idea of Blumman being their distribution point. Like, they're literally creating an Amazon. This is like reincarnated to create an Amazon. This is like Jeff Bezos in another world. Rimuru is creating Amazon. And if they have that much power within this entire region of this continent, yeah, create your own economy. Why do you need to do this whole system with the coins and everything? Make your own economy. I don't see any problem with that. Now, I do, because I'm looking at the whole thing with this looming threat of the angels, and it's obviously going to be coming to a head because of how big he's getting. But putting that aside, yeah, he's getting big. He's getting too big to fail at this point. He's getting so massive. Why not create your own economy? Why, like we were talking about in the previous episode, why play by their rules? We're big. Every nation that's come here for this festival is all going, Sugoi, I want that. Sugoi, I want that. Yeah. You want to play? Come to play with us. We don't have to go play with you. Come play with us. So yeah, that was kind of a big flex. That was obviously everything in that room was just to create this big flex. Obviously, they have the reporters walking in the door with them. Like, oh yeah, we were here to check out what was going on in here. Oh, what's going on here? All these pictures being taken. He's got the pose going on, like, we'll create our own economy. And then suddenly all the cameras go off. I'm like, yeah, this is stage. Good job, Guard. Again, Guard's a good actor. I mean, this is a merchant. He's got to be good at playing, putting that poker face on. If he's as big as he is, how well he's doing, this guy's got a poker face. But yeah, it did frustrate me at first coming into that scene. I'm like, oh God, we're doing it again. Why is this a problem? But yes, that all exposes them. They cut to the next scene where we have the big, essentially feedback meeting. This is a big feedback meeting where all the leaders are essentially given their opinions on what happened with the festival itself. The first thing that comes up is the displays, which again, like, what the hell? Why are you just casually throwing out these crazy technologies that can completely change the landscape of war? Like, if people could have these, like, displays, we could change the battlefield forever. Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Whoopsie, threw up a magic display that shows from a long distance away. Yes, and then it got into the magic trains, which I like this because, yes, like I was joking about earlier, it's essentially creating a distribution center. Like, they're literally turning Bullman into a distribution center. So you're saying you want everything to come through us. You want us to distribute, right? You want us to manage all the supplies. Again, they are specifically calling it a distribution center. This is not just they're crossing roads here. It's coming here and being stored there. They're managing inventory there. They're going to have to check what supplies are coming in. If they're getting low on materials from a certain location, they have to notify them. They have to take those countermeasures. Again, it's inventorying. They're distributing and inventorying the stuff. So that's very interesting. Again, I was kind of the assumption there was that, yeah, they're just crossing through there. But no, they're actually bringing it there and they're supplying it there. So yeah, that's crazy for Belmoth. Like, that is buko's money. Like, they're becoming a central vein for this entire distribution of what's going to be the center of the economy. That's huge for them. Like, I'd be sitting over there like, yeah, that's going to be very difficult, but you know what? As long as you can give us what we need to do this, we'll definitely handle it for you. That's because ching. Yes, then Veldora starts whining about the dungeon, which this does technically bring up some very important question marks here. The first one obviously being is the connection with the guild itself. Guard just jumps out of nowhere and presents a very important conversation to be had here, which is how this is going to affect the guild itself. Because yes, now that this entire region is now being bordered in by Tempest, and Tempest is handling the protection of the people. Again, they have these roads set up. It's got these barriers on it. Nobody has to worry about monsters anymore. The guild's not getting requests to take out monsters on the roads anymore. Everything within this barrier, within this border, is being handled by Tempest, not the guild anymore. So yeah, their jobs are going to start plummeting down. They have the magicals being absorbed as well, so that you have the less amount of magicals. There's less monsters being produced. All this stuff is taking away a lot of job from the guild. So how do you offset that? Well, we have a problem with this whole dungeon thing. We want to use your guild cards to manage people and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, they can get rewards from the dungeon itself, thus a win-win here. It's a really cool kind of proposition that they bring to Yuki right here, and essentially are having him handle all this stuff that they don't want to handle. So it's a win-win situation here. Really cool. Materials come from there, all that kind of stuff. I think this is a very clever way of sort of expanding the concept of the guild and incorporating the dungeon into an overall economy. It's really cool stuff. Like I said before, I'm fine with meetings if there's really cool bits in here like this where it's like, I didn't even think about that. That's really clever. But yes, Hinata also brings up a very important question that I was bringing up in the previous video, is the massive question mark of what can something like an undying bracelet do to a person? She presents the dangers of people going in this dungeon wearing these bracelets that will resurrect you. Yeah. They're going to be losing a lot of their awareness by the fact that they can't die. They're going to lose that fear of death by going into a dungeon over and over again where you can't die. Now, I thought that she was getting into the idea of how this can affect the mind for people outside of the dungeon. Because if you keep going in a dungeon where you can't die, you're going to lose that awareness. But then when you go outside of the dungeon and you start doing regular jobs outside of the dungeon without this bracelet, you're probably going to be more reckless and you're going to die. So there's a big problem that creates there. That's not what Hinata's talking about. I was like, oh crap, she's bringing it up. How that can mess with the psyche of a warrior. Nope, she's bringing it up for a different reason. I'm going to send you one of our priests, very high ranking, and they're going to be there to use their abilities to train themselves in helping heal the people that come out of the dungeon. Because yes, if they're going to be going down there with this bracelet, they're going to lose their awareness, they're going to be more reckless, and yes, they're going to come out with more wounds. So you have them there to heal the people that come out of the dungeon. So that was kind of a missed opportunity there, but it does technically make sense. And yes, it would technically benefit the both of them. Essentially having somebody train, healing a lot of people that are going to come out of that dungeon being injured. And yes, as Raphael kind of points out, hey, you can learn more about this skill that you just got by observing them. So that's a good thing. Bring them on in. So I'll be curious to see what new waifu they bring in. You know it's going to be a waifu. You know they're going to send a priestess waifu to be training there. Add a new waifu to the harem. You know it's not going to be a male. Pff, who needs guys? But yes, with all that talk out of the way, we hop over to Roso very briefly before we talk about the Eastern merchant stuff. And they note the idea that this Duke guy failed. So that kind of exposed the fact that this Duke that was causing all the problem with the merchants, that was all done by Roso. And apparently Maribel was just there, I guess, to observe him doing what he's doing well. Yes, observing the culture. Now, there's very weird statements that happen here. Granville says that they failed, all because he thought it'd be a shame to destroy that nation. So this implies that they wanted to kind of manipulate the nation, gain favor from them. This Duke was there in order to do them a favor and then gain favor from them. That way they can control them in some way. They failed. Their idea was to do that in order to not destroy them. And Maribel says that can't be helped. She felt and heard it, the nostalgic scent of culture. Now, I'm kind of curious why she calls it nostalgic, because again, I had my theories before with her kind of rushing that counter and having the sushi. That was a possibility that she might be an isekai of some sort, and she was happy with seeing this old culture from our world. That could still be the case here, but that could be the idea of her just liking taking on new cultures, seeing new things. But she said that's why we should have destroyed it before it become widespread. I'm greed. I want it all, and we'll have it all. So they're getting into the 7 Deadly Sin stuff. I think they've gotten into 7 Deadly Sin stuff again, but just the idea of her just being greedy could be a sense there. But yes, everything in the world belongs to Roso, despite the fact that everything up until now kind of indicates to me that they don't really have much. There's like a side of me that's like, yes, technically they're in a very rich nation area over there, which they had some control over, but nothing indicated me so far that the Roso family's like taken over globally. It's like they have this little area right here and they haven't really touched much, but apparently everything's theirs. But honestly, there's a side to be said that if they were to go after Rimuru, which again, Rimuru has essentially becoming like central economic hub of the entire continent, it's a good way to go about it. But again, that does technically clarify to us that, yes, they were working for the Eastern Merchants, which is working for Yuki. So in proxy, they were technically all in one thing here. But yes, the Rosos have kind of broken off from the Eastern Merchants at this point, but they were manipulating specifically these merchants. So that all kind of ties that together. But yes, that's when Rimuru and everybody start talking about the Eastern Merchants, which, again, taking a while here to kind of get into this. They technically was hitting on it before with the meeting between Luminous and Hinata and Rimuru, where they were talking about during the times they were doing the whole peace talks. Hinata had mentioned there that this guy from the Eastern Merchants is the one that kind of whispered in her ear, which caused the whole problem with her attacking him. All that stuff was kind of in that whole bit. But it's interesting here because, yes, they're bringing up the Eastern Merchants, kind of talking about the fact that they were manipulating something here, and it kind of goes to each one of them and sort of has them give their input on how they handle the Eastern Merchants, you know, allowing them to pass through. Yes, over here we have no dealings whatsoever with them. The elves apparently have no dealings with them. Again, Hinata here confirming the idea that we're not doing no business with them no more. We acknowledge that during this whole meeting, I was supposed to meet with one of them. Then we had somebody infiltrate our place. They obviously know that somebody from the Eastern Merchants, or at least, again, we know exactly that is, was involved with that whole situation. But yes, specifically turning to Yuki, that's when we have the big red flag flies up. Finally having him basically admit in that meeting that, yes, they do dealings with the Eastern Merchant. That's not a surprising thing. Again, even Guard later on says, yes, they get paper from them. That's not the big deal here. But it does sort of confirm with Rimuru, I guess, right here, that he's not shining from the fact that they work with them. Which, yes, turns into the follow-up meeting where they're talking about, yes, Yuki's obviously connected in some way. They have no proof of it. That's why he can't take action now. But it's obvious there's a lot of connections here. That we have their connections with the Harley Quinn Alliance. Alderman talking about them disguising themselves as the Eastern Merchants. All that kind of stuff is all kind of building up right now. Which, yes, puts a massive bullseye on Yuki himself. It is kind of funny. So is like everybody else going, okay, just take him and interrogate him right now. Can we just go ahead and interrogate him right now? We can't do that right now. He can dodge around it. We need proof or something like that. I'm like, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, do it in secrecy. Just kidnap him in secrecy and see if you can interrogate it out of him. I don't know. We haven't really seen, I don't think we've seen yet what Yuki can do. Everybody that's been isekai in this world, they each have a unique ability they'll gain. We haven't really seen what Yuki is, or at least I don't recall it. So people in the comment section, unless it's been in the anime, I don't want to know. If it's been hinted at and not actually stated, I don't want to know. But I don't think we've actually seen what Yuki can do. So I guess there is a fear there that if they were to capture him or whatever and try to interrogate him, even if they were disguised or whatever, there's a chance that his ability might actually overcome it, and then it's going to just blow up in their face. So I do kind of respect Rimuru's decision here to kind of, you know, let's just wait. Let's see if we can figure something out here. But the cool thing here is that because they now know, because the suspicion's there, they can watch more carefully to see those signs. But it might be a good time right now, Rimuru, to withdraw your allowance of them to go into your ruins, or at least the ruins of Clayman. Can we rescind that whole thing? Go, oh no, sorry, we actually have somebody else handling it. Can you withdraw her from that whole thing? I don't know, it's fine. But yeah, that kind of connects everything together. Yuki with the Harley Quinn Alliance and the Eastern Merchants and all that kind of stuff all wrapping together. So again, at least what kind of comes from all this is at least now Rimuru's, you know, heightened awareness about the whole situation. And yes, now at the end of the episode, we have the announcement that within a month, we got a letter from the Council of the West. So we'll see where that whole thing goes. Obviously, things are going to start shifting here really quickly. and I'll be curious where it goes from here, because again, a lot of doors have opened at this point, and again, a lot of suspicions have really kind of built up here for something really big. So I'll be curious to see where it goes from here. It has some funny little bits in there too, like Masayuki just sitting in the corner, like he's just kind of like, why am I here? Can I go home? What am I even doing here? Can you let me go? Momiji wanting Benimaru to oversee the construction so she could see him some more. Some fun little bits here, but yeah, that's my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate what it does. And until next time, until next season comes around, hopefully you stick around. Y'all take care.